Okay, so this piece here is going to go on top of this black piece. Okay, I glued it down before I hit record, so my apologies for that, but you can see that it needs to be flush here and flush here, as well as here. You do not want to put this side here. You want this slit to be visible, okay? So once we have that in place, we can start putting the other elements in place. So this one's going to go right here like so. So with this, because you've got these little areas here, you want to just go easy on the glue here. Now we're going to be putting stones in between these, so if you do happen to get a little bit of the glue bleeding into these areas, it's okay. They're going to be covered up, so it's not a huge deal, but you probably want to thin that out with your finger before you put it down. I'm going to use this little center part here as my initial guide for placement. Okay, just make sure that's nice and lined up. There we go. And there we go. Yep, so I had a little bit of that bleed through, but again, not a big deal because, well, we'll be putting some stones in here. So what we did, and I know it's a little extra work, but I think it's worth it. We have multiple layers of these stones. One that's going to fit in like a puzzle piece, and one that's going to come up and it's going to be elevated to give this some added depth and dimension. If you're going to make a card like this, you might as well go all out. This little guy is going to go right here, right in the center. So that one's easy peasy. Okay. Now what I would do is, because I inked the top layer on these while leaving the bottom layer alone, and then of course I jumbled them all up, so I have to go through and organize these again. But I'll show you, they're very simple because they're all unique for the most part. Okay, let me just flip these over so I have them all laid out. Okay, let's start with these funky pieces here. So you can see that these right here, we'll start here, we'll just go slow. That's going to go right in there. Okay, so I'm going to put the first layer in like a little puzzle. That's going to fit right into this little spot, just like that. Okay, now the top piece, I've inked and embossed. I used this crackle folder. It's no longer available, but find something that just has a kind of a earthy sort of feel to it. Okay, and that's going to go right on top, and then so you can feel it. It's got some texture to it. It's got dimension because it's raised up. All right, and then I'm going to go over to the other side and put that one in place. I'm just going to kind of go back and forth and get rid of shapes that look the same, roughly. Pop that in like a little puzzle for our first layer. If you want to just do one layer too, that's fine. You're going to cut out both of them though, because we're going to make you. But if you don't want to do two layers, just, you know, get rid of the other pieces. It's fine. It's not that much extra paper, and it only takes a few extra moments. Okay, next we're going to do these weird shapes. Okay, and that's this guy. Oh, no, wait a minute. Yep, that guy and that guy. And of course, I know I have two layers, so we got to find the other one that looks like that. And it's just process of elimination, going down the row, and getting rid of the most obvious ones until we're left with a few that maybe might be like, wait a minute, does this one go there or does this one go there? I'll show you. Not a big deal. And I'm sure you could figure this out on your own if you needed to. Okay, there's that one. I'm going to put the first layer in here. Just like a little puzzle. It should fit in there perfectly as long as your machine's doing a decent job of cutting. I know they're not always perfect, but they should get the job done. There we go. There's the next piece. Okay, so now we have this little skinny piece, but it's got a little bit of a curve to it. So there's that one. and there's his underside, and then there's that one, and then there's the one that goes underneath. Okay, so just like we've been doing. You know, and when Diana was designing this card, I said, because initially it was just going to be 2 layers, and this light brown was going to be underneath. So it was going to kind of give a sort of a reverse, a deboss sort of look, where this part actually stuck out rather than the bricks sticking out. But this is supposed to be mortar, so it's supposed to be, you know, recessed and not protruding. The bricks are the ones that are supposed to be sticking out. So I said, you know what? I know it's extra work, but let's make it as lifelike as possible, and let's make the bricks stand out. Because after all, what, you know, I mean, it gets the point across, but I want to be able to actually feel it and see the bricks. There we go. Yeah, see, that's really coming to life. I like that. These little guys, these are just rectangles. So I found that one, and there should be one more. Okay, so you can see that one goes there, and that one goes there. These are identical, so you can actually, technically use this one over here and vice versa. Okay, pop that one right on top. Whoops. There we go. And the same thing on the other side. There we go. Okay. All right, now let's find these little guys. There's one there and one there. Let's get those in place. And so anyway, I think I'm fortunate to live where I live, because the Chicagoland area is known for pizza. Supposedly New York is like really known for pizza, but I've had pizza in New York and it's not very good. Super, well, I guess it depends on where you go. But we have a couple franchises out here that make fantastic pizza. Make pizza pies deep dish. I know that's a Chicago thing. Giordano's and Lou Malnati's. If you ever come into the area and you want some really good pizza, Lou Malnati's and Giordano's. Definitely must-haves in this area. Okay, so now these guys here, these guys are maybe a little trickier. Not really though. Okay, just kind of feel it out. That one definitely doesn't fit there. It doesn't fit there. That's the winner right there. Okay. It should just snap in. If you see any gaps or anything like that, then you know you got the wrong one. Okay. So it should just kind of snap in there. Let me try this one here. Nope. That one goes there. We're actually trying to doing a lot of healthy stuff right now, and pizza is, boy, it's trouble. I'll tell you, it is trouble. Actually, I don't have to eat gluten-free, but I do, just because I feel pretty horrible when I eat any sort of grain. So when I eat pizza, I'll have a little bit of the crust, but most of the time I'm just kind of eating the cheese and the toppings, and you know what? Honestly, it's like the same thing. There's really no flavor in the bread anyway. it's more of just the texture. I know some people really love the bread. That's fine. I got no beef with you. I just, if I ate all the bread that was put in front of me, I don't think I would be doing so well. I never really had like celiac or anything like that, but years and years and years and years ago, right around the time I started, it was right around SVG cuts, 2009-ish, I had a lot of gut problems. And I had to cut out all kinds of stuff because it was making me feel horrible. Actually, they won't admit it. Well, it's not that they won't admit it. It's not really, I don't think there's like a diagnosis for it in traditional medicine, but there's a phenomenon called leaky gut. It's essentially where your little tentacle dudes in your intestines that actually absorb nutrients get squished or destroyed because of allergens and bad food. And they let big particles of food into your bloodstream that causes autoimmune issues. And I think that's what was going on with me. But anyway, all right, so then what you should have left here is 3 little bricks. Okay, there's one that's long, and you can kind of see that there's a little marker up there. And that's for this long one. It's a long rectangle. Use that little marker to guide you. Okay, there we go. Get that excess out of there. Then there's a short one. There's a little marker right there for that one. Pop that in place. Just like that. Make sure it's flush with the side. There we go. Okay, and then one last one over here on the left. Use that little marker there. Make sure it's flush. Whoops. There we go. Okay, so that's nice. Look how beautiful and dimensional it is. It's got a very nice sort of Italian color scheme. Okay, all right, so we're gonna put the flame in place as well. Okay, we'll put this one on top of this one first and then get the whole thing glued into place. Nice and easy with the glue here. You don't need a lot. Okay. And just line that up with the little slit there. That's where our little mechanism is going to go. We got 2 layers of fire. There we go. Okay. And that's going to go right on here. Obviously, you want to match that up so that you're not obstructing the slit. Okay. And pop that right on there. Get that nice and centered. Should be flush with the bottom. There we go. And press that down. And there we go. Okay. Looks great. Super dimensional. Can't complain. Gotta love it. Okay. Let's take a look at a few more things here. Let's put the little band together. Okay, so you'll notice that we have a little tab here. Throw some glue right on this tab. Let's spread that out to the very edge. Grab the other half of this and just line that up like so. Okay, you can put that down flat, give that a good solid press. Okay, and then we'll go to the other side. Grab that other tab. Spread that out. And get that connected. Line that up as accurately as you can. You can then take it and put it down flat. It should sit flat. Okay, there we go. So there is the band. And then just have to put the little caption together. Okay, and the way this is going to work is, in my case, the gold layer is going to be in the back. And I've got red glitter in the center. And we're going to back that with some more white for the little cutouts on the O and the E, so you can see what that looks like. Okay, so let's start off by, let's glue this down first. Let's get the glitter onto the white. And if you're not using glitter, that's okay. Yours might be red instead. It's fine. Okay. Just match up these little weird elements coming off of the diamond. Get that on there as accurately as you can. There we go. Okay. There we go. And then we're going to go white on top of that, obviously. I already showed you that. And we just want to make sure that we get that as centered as possible. Okay, so we've got a lot of little detailed areas here. If you don't get glue on every single little detail, don't worry about it. You can always go in using our painting method and just touch up any of these little areas that might not be sitting completely flat. I'm not going to stress out over these little sections here. I'm going to do my best and just get it into place while the glue's still wet, and then worry about anything that needs to be touched up after it's in place. I'm going to flip this over and push down from the back. And that worked out nicely. Pretty much nailed it. Okay. But if you have any of these little areas here, or like right here under the L, I think I got it pretty good. But you could put a little bit of glue right on the very edge of a scrap piece of paper. Just tuck it underneath any of these little areas that you think might need a little extra glue. But I nailed it. Maybe this one maybe. There you go. Just pop it right under there. And then just press it down. Okay. Get it in place. And then finally, I'm going to take this piece and glue it onto my gold layer here. I want that nice and centered, even border all the way around. Now, since I'm gluing it down to a gold foil, I'm going to pop that underneath my mat. Let my mat do the work of holding it flat while it sets. But make sure you get it centered if you're using foil. It's very unforgiving. You'll see the first version that I put together here. What we're going to do, we're going to start off with this black layer, and you're going to find this layer with a bunch of holes in it, and we're just going to line that up with the scallops, and you're going to get that glued down. Pretty straightforward so far. Actually, the entire process is very straightforward. Okay, just get that glued into place on top of the black layer. This is going to act as our pepperoni layer. And just match up the scallops. There might be some areas where the black kind of shows through a little bit on the edges, but for the most part, it should be pretty seamless. Okay, and then got to put the cheese on. Okay, and the cheese is going to go on just like that. Now, what you want to do, first off, is find this little hole here, and you see the little olive there. You're going to match those up so that all of the olives show through. So you have those little black spots, and that's how you know how to line it up. Okay, so this is my second time doing this one. The first version I inked. I didn't bother inking this one again because it's just for demonstration. But definitely take your time and ink your pizza. Not your, well, you never want to ink a real pizza, obviously, but definitely ink this pizza. Okay, so match up that little olive there on the cheese layer and the previous layers. Okay, there we go. All right, then we're going to take this, we're going to put this on our sauce layer. Okay, it's going to go like that. You want to make sure you have a nice even border of sauce throughout. Okay, and you can see that I also didn't pick the same colors, just grabbed whatever color I could find that was close, just so I can demonstrate the assembly. But you see the difference that it makes if you follow along with our color templates here. Okay, and then you're going to take and put it on the crust, and you want to make sure that you keep an even border all the way around. So if you rotate it like this, you notice that these little points are getting way too close here. So rotate it a little bit more until that crust looks nice and even. And then we'll glue that down. Okay. Nice even crust all the way around. All right, so that just leaves the mushrooms and the green peppers. Okay, and as far as the mushrooms go, there's a lot of them that are very similar in size. There's two larger ones, and then there's a handful of smaller ones. Okay, and they all have a designated place. There are some very slight variations in all of these mushrooms. Obviously, the big one's going to go here, and we cut them out in white, and I ink them with a little bit of black. Okay, so before you commit and actually put them in there, you can just pop them in without any glue to see how they fit, and if they don't, try it in a different one. If you don't want to sit there and analyze the little tiny nuances in each of the mushrooms, just pop them in and see if they fit, and if they fit, glue them in. Okay, and then as far as the green peppers go, you've got plenty of empty areas here where you can glue them down. Just throw a few little dots of glue on the back, and then just find the little openings here. You can see that there. You can put that one there. Doesn't really matter. Pizzas are pretty random. But that looks good. Maybe I'll flip-flop these, put the smaller one in the middle. That looks good. You know what I mean? So it doesn't really matter. I'm going to pop these off real quick since you get the idea. And then what we're going to do, this little piece here, all right, there's a double fold here. So 2 sets of score lines. Make sure you have kind of a thick fold there. And on one side, you have the little slot for the gift card. So what you want to do is you want to glue the pizza to the other side, the side that does not have the slot, okay, or the slits, I should say. So what you're going to do is actually just put glue on this surface. Okay, and just line that up, match it up with that shadow element, just like that. Okay. So there we go. And what's going to happen is, ultimately, when we get this in place, it's going to open up to reveal a little gift card in there. So with that being said, I'm going to put this off to the side because I'm actually going to be using this one. Okay. Now, one other thing too, this is the little tray that the pizza is going to sit on. Okay. And this is the pattern piece. There's also a solid piece. I've already glued these together. Again, I had a camera issue, and I already filmed that. So there's a piece that looks like this, and another one, same shape but pattern. You're going to glue those right on top of each other to make one solid piece. Okay. Okay, so the next thing we want to do here is we're going to actually, well, a couple things. One, this little piece here, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to take this element and glue this onto this piece here. Okay, this is kind of our like pop-up mechanism, essentially. This little guy is going to go through the card, and so is this. You want to make sure you keep this nice and flush. It's not going to be completely up to this tab, just not quite, but almost. Okay, we're only going to put glue on this surface here, just like that. Okay, pop that right into place. There's going to be a little bit of that brown still showing through. Just want to feel and make sure that it's flush most of the way. Right around here. Okay, press that down. Like so. Okay, and then our pizza is going to go right on here. And you want to bring the pizza out to just about the very front edge. Not quite, but almost. Leave just a little bit of wiggle room there. Okay, because it's going to open up like this. And here's what we also want to do. We're only going to do not put glue on the actual slits, because otherwise you won't be able to put your gift card in there. And we're only going to put glue up to about that point. Don't go above the slit. Okay, so to about right there. Okay, and remember, you want it like this. This is your top. Make sure it's centered. And it's almost, but not quite, to the front of this little pizza pan. Okay, put that down flat, just like that. And there we go. Okay, just going to open up like that. Your little slits should still be open, and you can see why we didn't glue it down all the way, so that when we open it, it doesn't get stopped. Okay, and the pizza is going to sit like that. All right, so now what we're going to do, I'm going to construct our box here. Okay, and you can see here we've got this little panel that's going to go in there. And then we have the little brick part. Okay, so what we're going to do is going to take and glue this tab right here to the inside of this wall. So go ahead and apply some glue to that tab. Need a little more than that. Okay, and that's going to go right inside of that wall. Line that up nice and straight and press that down. There we go. Okay, and we'll go over to the other side and apply some glue to this tab. Spread that out. It might need a little more. It's kind of hard to see the glue on the white. Do your best. Hello. Okay, and line that up nice and straight. There we go. Okay, over to the front. Grab this tab. Apply your glue. Spread that out. Tuck it in. Line it up and press and hold. Okay, and then finally, this little guy here. Tuck that in and press and hold. And we're basically making a pizza box. Okay. So there's that. This part, we'll leave alone for now. Okay. All right, so the bottom of the box, I'm going to put this in there. As you can see, it sits perfectly flush and is just perfect enough, or perfectly cut out, so that we're not obstructing that little slit. Okay, so we can take this out for a second, and let's apply our glue. Okay, and just drop that right in there. I think it's symmetrical. Pop that right in. Perfect. Okay, there we go. Now, I'm going to take and glue this into place. And you can see where that needs to go. Want to make sure that we're not obstructing that slit. Okay, I'm going to also make sure that it's nice and centered on there. So we'll flip this around, apply our glue. Take a look at that slit, make sure it's nice and straight. You can also put this down on your surface. Press down. This is, since it's like a pizza box, I'm not actually gluing anything on this top part, so you can push down and flare these out. It's not going to hurt anything. Okay, there we go. Coming together. Make sure that these close up. It should close for you nicely. There you go. Looking good so far. Okay. All right, now here comes the mechanism. All right, this is going to go up. Okay, so we're going to slide this through, all the way through, and that's going to get glued to the outside onto this surface here. Okay, and let's just check this real quick. This other one, and actually I think we're going to do the bottom one first. All right, so I'm going to flip this over. And for this one, it doesn't really matter which direction the tab goes. Put glue, don't put glue right next to the score mark. Leave it sort of a little bit away from the score mark. And just make sure it's flush. You don't want it poking through all the way like that. You want it to be just so that the score mark is poking out. Okay. Just like that. Move this out of the way. There we go. And then press that down. Then you're going to take the other tab and poke it through the back. Might fight you a little bit, but shouldn't be too bad. Okay, poke it through as far as it'll go. Okay, just like that. I'm kind of pulling it towards me. It won't go any further than that. Okay, throw a little glue on there. You got to angle it up and push it up against. Pull it out as far as it'll go, then push it up against the back and press and hold. Okay, let's make sure that sets. And let's also make sure that it closes. There we go. Give that a second. Make sure it's fully set. There we go. You can see the pizza kind of moves. And then they'll lift it up. There's their surprise. Okay, so now what we're going to do, I'm going to close this up for now. And I'm going to, this is the top. So what we're going to do is take this piece, and that's going to get glued on top to cover up that little tab, and also, you know, just to add a little whatever you want. Now this is going to be for Valentine's Day, so we use some Valentine's paper, but when I asked for a card like this, I said, hey, let's make it so that it can be used for Valentine's Day, but that it could also be used for a birthday or pretty much any occasion, because, well, love you to pizzas is not really, doesn't have to be specific to Valentine's Day. It can be anything, really. Just show someone that you love them. I'm going to flare this out and push down from the inside so I don't warp the box. Okay, let's take a look. That looks nice and even. Okay. Now another thing that we're going to do here, we have these 4 pieces, and this is trim for the edge of the box. 2 of them have score marks and tabs, and 2 of them don't. The 2 that do are the front and back. Okay, you can see where this one goes. It goes right here like so. And that should be perfect right along the edge so that the tabs go right over the corners and onto the adjacent side. So I'm just going to put glue on the main surface for now. And just make sure that it's lined up with the edges and also flush with the bottom, like so. Then we're going to go to the back, put the back ones on. Now before we do that, let's glue these tabs down onto the sides on each side. It's a nice little touch. Didn't have to do that, but also makes it more sturdy. It just looks nicer, period. I'm going to apply glue to this piece now and line that up like so. Just like that. Get your tabs down. I think maybe I did ink these. Yeah, just a little bit. Just kind of shot them with a little bit of ink. Nothing crazy. There we go, pop that down. And that just leaves these 2 pieces that are going to go right on top, centered and flush. Let me tuck this in. Kind of being annoying, getting in my way. That's why we made the band, just to kind of keep this thing closed. It has a tendency to want to kind of pop out a little bit. Okay. And we'll apply some glue to these little strips, one on each side. Oops. Make sure it's centered, left and right, and flush top and bottom. Okay, going over to the other side. And the last little strip. There's a pink piece that's going to cover up the tab on the back, and that is a great place to do your stamping, write your message, whatever you want to do. You can have your machine write it for you if your penmanship is as amazing as mine. Totally up to you. Okay, there we go. So that matches up nicely, and like I said here, you've got this panel. It's going to go on the back. I'm just going to glue that into place, and that just leaves our little band to keep everything nice and closed, which is cool because it looks like kind of like an old-fashioned pizza box logo, I guess you could say. And it's just going to go on the back. Perfect for your writing, whatever it is you want to write on there. Okay, let's open that up. Awesome. Okay, let's not forget that we need to take our little logo or caption, whatever you want to call it. It's a caption. And glue that to the actual band. You can see it really only goes on one way. And that be the way. Like so. You can put that down flat. Press down. Okay. There we go. And then finally, just take it, slide it over. And there it is. There's your little pizza box. So your recipient will take this out, open it up. There's their pizza. And they're going to lift up their pizza, get their little gift card. And then, of course, you could also write a little note under the gift card if you want. So there's plenty of room there. I think that's actually cooler. And then you've got plenty of room on the back as well. So, well, that is going to do it for our pizza box gift card holder. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please visit us on our YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button. While you're there, hit the little bell so you get notifications anytime we release a new project, whether it be paid or free. And if you make this or anything from our latest bundle, I'd love to see it, and so would the rest of our community. So head over to your Facebook and do a search for Dreaming Tree Official. That's where I hang out, and that's where you'll find over 45,000 other dreamers that inspire us daily. So I hope you had a blast. I love you to pizzas, and I look forward to crafting with you again.